Hello guys and girls, how are you today? Welcome to my live drawing with Will. And I'm just going to give a quick update on some things. I do start a new job on Monday. So my schedule may change a slight bit, but I'm still going to try to make sure to provide you all quality content on the same days. Monday with a writing tip, Thursday with a story, and then Saturdays will be drawings. Sometimes they may not be live. Sometimes they may be pre-done. It just kind of depends. So I just want to let y'all know ahead of time. So I'm going to start by turning the camera around. I will show you guys a picture that I finished that I'll reference in the video later once I get the chance to add links. And then I'll start on the Roman Reigns picture. So, and I promised you guys last week. By the way, guys, if you're in there on comments, let me know who you want me to see be drawn next. It could be anybody, comic books, movies, wrestling if you want to keep that theme. Different things like that, just let me know. Anyway, so I'm going to flip the camera around a bit, and I'm going to set this up so I can go ahead and do that, so I can get my face out of the picture, so to speak. So, I should be able to flip the camera. I say flip the camera. Make sure I'm doing it. There we go. So, that is the picture from Elle with from Stranger Things that I was doing the other day, and I posted that video up yesterday, I believe. And so anyway, that's the finished product of Elle. That's kind of me inking it, different things like that. Let's see, Dark Side. Yeah, Dark Side. We can definitely do some Dark Side. It won't be this week, but it may be next week. So we can definitely do some Dark Side. I love Dark Side. He's probably one of my favorite villains of the DC universe. He's probably one of the biggest villains ever. Anyway, so that's my Elle finished up there from Stranger Things. So, and I'm going to move that and put up my Roman Reigns. As you can see, it's not quite complete. One of the things I learned from my first live draw is that when you're doing bigger stuff, sometimes in response to doing bigger things, you can end up taking a lot more time. So I didn't want to be on here for 27, almost 30 minutes. So I figured, well, let's go ahead and try to see what we can do to speed this up a bit. So we're going to do little muscles there. Go ahead and put that down. Go ahead and fill that in, and then we'll start doing some of our shading. Things like that. Tried to do Roman Reigns with the Superman punch there that he is so known for, in the land of WWE. Anyway, so I'm looking for your comments, guys. So I've got it set up to where I can actually kind of see them, and I'm not having to jump completely out of the picture to do it. So if you got comments, go ahead and put them down in the comments section, and we'll get those things going. We'll get to look at them and try to respond to them. So, let's see. Practicing life like WWE superstars. Hello! I see all these people coming in and doing some stuff. Yeah, the thing, somebody asked me the other day, they were like, how do you do this? What do you, you're such a good artist, what do you do? And my response to them was real simple. I draw a lot. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a master of anything, trust me. I get better at it as I do it. Just like anything else, if you want to be a better writer, you have to, write a lot. If you want to be a better artist, you have to draw a lot. Different things like that. Yeah, Boris is actually the reason why I was doing, and I'm going to get your name right one of these days, buddy. I promise you. We're going to get that name right at some point. I keep saying it wrong, probably. I saw you try to go live earlier this morning. I slept in a little bit today, since it's probably going to be the last days I get to sleep in because I start my new job Monday. So, I didn't want to. I would have jumped on if I had been awake, but at the time you did, I was not awake. So, anyway, I'm going to throw some shades on here. Since I know my light source is coming from this direction, since that's where my whites are, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling in the darks. Let's see. Got some skin, 6 shades, 2 tones on the brother. Yeah, if I were working with pencils, I would probably be using a lot more blending stumps, but I'm working primarily with pen and ink, so I don't use blending stump as much in this mode. Just out of that. So, that nice bridge that Roman has kind of sort of over his nose. So, kind of get the neck down here. Go a little bit lighter. believe it's right there. My pen's out going and everything. Get that job on there. Have to find a little bit of dark here, so that's nearly as much. Pick up kind of head there. Don't want to go too dark because, of course, my light's coming from that direction, even though his, of course, hair is going to play a part to that. Set up the muscles. You always want to make sure you kind of shade three-dimensionally. Make sure your light source is there at the same place. Kind of try to make this a little bit more superhero-y and kind of dynamic in that regard. So it's kind of him doing his Superman punch, but it looks kind of like there's a beam or something coming around him. Kind of Dragon Ball Z-esque when I do it. That's kind of the idea there. That. So, how you guys doing? Anybody else? Just talk about general stuff like how you're doing. How's everything going? Anything exciting going on in your world? Let's see. The first one I'm gonna try is the Beasting card at Brock Lesnar. I don't like Sharpies. I'm not a big Super Sharpie fan just because they bleed a lot and it's harder to control. I like these markers here. You can pick up at most art shops. They're a Chameleon brand. You can pick them. I know Hobby Lobby has them, and they don't bleed as much, so they tend to, once you lay down where you want it to go, it kind of goes there. And I like that better because I don't have to worry so much about the bleeding. Sharpies can bleed a lot. There are some that will say no bleed, but especially if you're trying to do artwork and stuff like that, that has a lot to, you want your shadows to fall where they fall. And so that's kind of why I want to do it that way. So, but yeah, so I saw there was somebody posting about wanting to do the Beast Incarnate. I say go for it. If you're going to do Brock, one thing about it, man, Brock, especially it's in his face, going to buy me some cool gray Copics too. Yeah, Copics are good. I do like that brand. Where I am currently, I just don't have access to them. I would probably try them because a lot of people's tutorials, I see a lot of people using Copics, so I definitely check them out. Definitely get in there and get on the Copic train and check them out, see how they do, see how well they go. So, tighten that up, go ahead and do my blacks on the emblem that Roman has that he rocks, which is kind of funny because it's that double R. So it's interesting because it's a double R. I mentioned, somebody asked me one day, they were like, "What's that? What does the emblem mean?" And I was like, "Well, it's just Roman's R's, and in a kind of interesting way." And he was like, "What do you mean?" And I told him the spike represents the backside of both R's. Yeah, you can get them online. Copics are really available online. That's the best place I would think to get them. If you can get on like a Hobby Lobby site or something like that and do that, you can go there and do it and get them shipped internationally if you're not from the States. So I'd highly recommend. Because Copic's a really good brand from what I've seen. I haven't really worked with them myself, but I have seen a lot of good work come out of them. So that's why I say they're really good. So I try to use what I've got access to. Story time. Yeah, you can go ahead and watch it afterwards. That's cool. As long as you're watching, that's the most important thing. I think the most recent one that's up was about my my high school crush, my first crush. So you get a chance to see that story. I think it's pretty interesting. It's also a little bit, sometimes if you can't tell stories about yourself, what can you tell, right? So try to make sure those story times are very good for people as they see them. Different things like that. So, let me see. Let me go a little bit darker. I need to go a little bit darker to pick up some of the other tones there, especially around the arms. I go a little bit darker, not too much. I don't want to go too dark, although that's a little bit darker than I wanted. But that's okay though, because we can bring that back up. And go a little bit warmer warmer grays. This is the pack that they come out of. So they're called Chameleon brands. I'm sorry, but part of that deal is bent. So it's a little bit bendy. Trying to come in and do a little bit lighter ding there, kind of give some more shadow to that gray. Come in and go there, just a hair. There. A little bit more definition to this. For the nose. There goes the nose. I need to go ahead and do something about the belt. So I'm going to go in and do this with the belt. That's really the only part I have left to work on. It's just the belt side there. Go ahead and tighten that up a little bit. So I got a request for dark side for next week. Anybody else have any other requests for future ones? I can definitely put them down on a list to do for later. Whether it be dark side, comic booky, let's see. So I'm doing, well, last week I did a WWE one. Last week, come on, Will, you remember this. I did Kenny Omega last week from Wrestle Kingdom 12, and I did him in his Anubis outfit. And so you can go check that one out as well. And then I also posted up a video. I try to post up other drawing videos as well. Sometimes I'll post up just random drawing videos that don't necessarily have to do with WWE people. But I always want to try to do something where I'm drawing and I'm letting you guys see the process that I go through. So that's the plan. That's usually the plan. That's usually the way that works. So like this past week, the request was for Roman Reigns. So I went ahead and did that. And made sure to get that going. So I'm going to gray in these guys. Go ahead and gray those. Down. Down. Not down. Then come back in. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this center part. The same shade. Then I want to do the others. It's not as... There. See, mess with pencils part. I did kind of jump straight to the pins because, again, the one with Kenny Omega was almost 30 minutes long, and I didn't want to be on that long with a stream. And so I really felt like it'd be better to go through and do something shorter, so that's why I went ahead and did kind of more of a... I did part of it, and then I jumped straight into the thing. That's the only thing about doing live streams. And, of course, if I'm doing a straight video on it, then what I can do is I can record the initial video and then speed it up and then go through and do it that way. That's a lot better video. I don't want to be on here all day. You know, I mean, if people want to see the whole entire thing and sit down and do that, that's fine. I'll do it. And I'll definitely give all that on if y'all want it. So I'll go in and do a full thing from blank page to finished product. I can definitely do that. So... And there we are. There's Roman Reigns. So, I'm going to give you the picture there. You know what? Here's the thing. When I was your age, I wasn't drawing like this. It took a lot of years of practice. So, the words never should come out of your mouth. That's the one thing I would say to you, and I would encourage you to know. Anybody that was willing to take the time to work on it can do it. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you come from. If you want to draw, draw. And you know what? The most important critic is yourself. You're the person that's going to determine whether it's the greatest or not. You're the person that's going to determine how you feel about it or not. So don't worry about what anybody else feels like. Go and draw it the way you want to draw it. Do it yourself. You do it. That's the most important thing I'd recommend to anybody. I saw something I need to tighten up real quick. Oh, well, you know, you could with practice. You want to practice it? I don't know. I say that because, you know, there are certain parts of this that was creative, part of this is stuff I was bored with, but then the other side of it had to do with how to learn the basics. I mean, there's certain basic fundamental things that any artist will know they can learn. Um, so yeah, sometimes if you haven't drawn in a long time, you kind of lose it a bit. But you just pick it back up, work on it. You know, even if you say I have a hard time drawing a poop emoji, spend a good 2 weeks looking at poop emojis and drawing them as best you can. Get a sketchbook and just sit down and do it. That's the most important thing. Like I said, what you see now is years worth of drawing to get to this level. So I'm gonna strive to get better, and I hope you guys will too. Listen, thanks so much for y'all stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and jump out, but you guys take care, and we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna flip it around to finish off. No, I know I gotta leave. I gotta leave. I gotta jump out. There I am. I'm back. All right. So listen, guys. Uh, Thank you so much for sticking with me on this, jumping in, your comments and things like that. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and jump in. Look at some other videos. Comment. I love dialoguing with you. Anybody that dialogues with me on the comments knows that. So anybody want to testify to that, go ahead. Likes, comment, subscribe, all that, please do it. I greatly appreciate everybody who rocks with me on this channel. Thank you so much. As always, yeah, story times will... Well, no, I've already got one up. There's already one up. So go ahead and jump in and look at that, check it out, and leave your thoughts. Anyway, guys, yep, appreciate it. Listen, thank you guys so much. As always, be blessed to be a blessing to somebody, guys. I am out.